Are you looking to do deals and master flipping houses? Welcome to the Do Deals Show with our host, Mr. Tim Mai. As a successful investor and mentor to many real estate investors, Tim's students consistently run 6- and 7-figure investing businesses. Each week, you'll hear from top real estate investors who share the best strategies, systems, and secrets that you can use to be more successful. Tim and his guests will pull back the curtain for you to learn their exact tactics, tricks, and tools that are working best right now in today's real estate market. Now, let's welcome Mr. Tim Mai.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this interview. Today, I have Josh Paschall on the line with me today. Josh, started real estate investing not too long ago. Started from homeless to doing a lot of deals right now. Done over 100 deals. Everything from wholesaling to owner financing. He's focusing a lot on owner financing right now. Raised a bunch of private money to do these deals with. And so I'm really excited to interview Josh today. Josh, welcome, buddy.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the listeners and viewers for watching. I'm ready to help some people out. So thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me. Much respect.
Awesome, buddy. Yeah, and before we started the recording, Josh and I were talking, and he shared with me how he's like the no money of the no money down deals, right? When he first got started. So Josh, take us back, buddy. Take us back to how you got started, and how you overcame all the challenges that you overcame to do your first deal.
Okay, Tim. My first deal I did was in September of 2013, so a couple years ago. I got into real estate after a friend of mine just kind of, pulled my coattail to real estate investing, let me know that there's another way out there to make some money. However, as a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs start, we don't really start with money. We start with ideas, So when I was told that you can get into this business with no money, when I was told that you can start with nothing, I find it funny because, that's all I had was nothing, So I pretty much had everything I needed to get started, so no excuses. I was working a job. I used to work for a travel company where I help people book vacations all around the world. And this was a stay-at-home job. So I was familiar with customer service, helping people. That's even helped with my hiring process now because I know how I was trained to work my last job. But I was working a job, and it was kind of like a part-time job, Tim. I didn't really have that much money. Around that time, my mother started getting sick. Her health started getting sick. I was about 23, 24 at the time. And I found myself like in the driver's seat trying to help out my family. Long story short, times got hard and I ended up getting homeless. I was set out from my apartment, lost all my belongings. So if people out there, if you don't know my story, I was homeless. I lost all my belongings, everything that I owned, and I pretty much had to start from nothing. Picked myself up, took what little money I did have, and I moved my family into an extended stay hotel where we can just kind of have shelter while I worked on my dreams, worked on my real estate investing career.
So your mom was living with you at the time?
Unfortunately, yeah, Tim, because I was living with her. I was with her and she started getting sick and I was just working a little part-time job and we couldn't split up. We both got put out. So I remember one day I came back from the hotel, the extended stay hotel that we were staying in. Before I even got set out of my apartment, we were trying to transition and move. Long story short, I come back one day and it was a tragic day. I come back to my apartment and I see all my belongings on the street. And by the time I got there, the whole neighborhood had ran through my belongings. They took whatever they wanted to. I had electronics, I had furniture, washer, dryer, all kind of stuff. The neighborhood took what they wanted and left me with nothing. So basically, whatever I can pack inside of my car, Tim, is what I took with me and what I started over with. So, yeah, it was actually me, my mother, and my brother all in the room. Yeah, so
how old's your brother? Is it an older brother or younger brother?
It's an older brother, but you know what, Tim? He was actually going through his own stuff too. I health problems in my family around that time. I say I say a lot. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people all the time. So I'm a lot less likely to judge and more likely to help people now because I know from, the bottom. I know what it's like. So at that time, Tim, I had to humble myself, and I think that's what pushed me more than anything to real estate because I knew that I needed to make a change. Having a job and potentially being fired or whatever, it was no security. And I think more than anything at that time, I knew real estate was what I was supposed to be doing. So I say this also, getting into real estate, Tim, you either have a lot of money or you have a lot of time. Thankfully, I had a lot of time. Didn't have any money. I had a lot of time because I had no job to go to. I was homeless. So I was just able to focus my time in real estate. So, shortly after being set out of my apartment, moving into the hotel, just, getting by week to week, making money at flea markets, all kind of stuff, whatever I could to just stay afloat. I got into real estate and closed my first deal and signed the contract and made just a little bit over $3,000 on my first deal. Um, well, it was in September of 2013, and I believe I got set out maybe in July. So, couple months from worst day of my life to one of the best days of my life. It's kept going from there.
That's awesome. And how did you even learn how to do that first deal?
Well, I had tried getting into real estate for a long time. I've seen people like you, all kinds of people who have shared their success stories. So I knew that real estate was something that I wanted to get into. I guess I just didn't have the courage or I didn't have the burning desire to make it happen until extreme circumstances. So, I mean, I learned before I even got into real estate wholesale, and a friend of mine, he taught me about just being a bird dog, period. The no money down, just getting in where you can fit in, so to speak. And I never really was successful at finding other people deals being a bird dog, so to speak. Um, and when I heard about that idea, I just said, why don't I just be the guy who has the contract? So I tried to go about doing it in my own little way, but never was successful. And I think at that time when I was set out, my heart just knew what to do. I knew what to do by then. And I just went out and made it happen. My first deal, I took what little money I had and I, purchased like a little mailing list or something. And I just wanted my phone to ring while I was in that hotel. Mind you, Tim, I didn't have a fax machine. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any special softwares, none of that stuff. All the things that I did, any contracts that I tried to negotiate, I had to go downstairs, had the front lady desk, print out my contracts, all that stuff. I was bootstrapping for real. You know, that's what we're going to be talking about, I guess, in this podcast interview. How do you go from, nothing to something? And even more than that, how do you go from nothing to something when you have nothing? It takes a certain kind of skill. It takes a certain kind of determination to make that happen. So,
Right. So let's talk about that. So let's go more specific. So here you are at the extended stay, having very little money. You mentioned that you bought a little mailing list. What kind of list was it, and how much did it cost you?
I think it was absentee owner list, and it cost me a couple $100. I mean, with the purchase and the mailing, just a couple hundred. Nothing. It was definitely under $1,000. Couple $100. I probably would have closed more deals with the calls that I was getting if I knew what I was doing. But just one deal came through, and it was for my first deal, Tim. It was a really hard deal because it had title issues. I was dealing with um, a not so nice seller. I think he might have been like an alcoholic or a drug addict when I think back. He was too pressed for the money. And he made my life very difficult. He didn't, of course, I couldn't tell any of these parties that I was homeless. I had to just kind of, do what I had to do. And, when you really need money, the last thing you need is a seller trying to tell you, if we don't close this in a week, I'm canceling the deal. He's the one that had the title issue, so it was hard. This was my very first deal. It was hard for me to even, you know, tell him the reason why we couldn't close so quickly. It was just I was so unexperienced. But it all worked out for the better. Um, a cool story. Go ahead. No, I was going to tell you a cool story that's involved with my first transaction is how I found my first buyer. I'd always heard that you should go out and use bandit signs and things of that nature. Me personally, Tim, I didn't even really have money to purchase bandit signs. So what I did was I went out to the local grocery store. It might have been like a Piggly Wiggly or something like that. And I said, hey, I know you guys have all these boxes that you throw away. Can I have some of your boxes? I think I might have told them that I was moving or something. I need boxes. So they gave me all these boxes that they didn't want. Hey, sure, take as many as you can. I packed maybe 20 boxes up into my truck, and I went down to Home Depot where I purchased these like 24-inch wooden stakes, 12 a dozen for like $3 or $4 or something. So I bought 2 dozen, spent about $10 on wooden stakes, and I had a whole bunch of cardboard boxes that I was able to cut up using like a knife or a box cutter. And so I had these cardboard boxes that I cut up into little signs, and I kind of stapled them on these stakes. So I took a little Sharpie marker and I made my own homemade bandit signs for practically nothing. I mean, I had no choice. I was just going to get it done. But what's so cool about that, Tim, is this just goes to show the power of action, taking action. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get done. So within 2 hours of me placing those banner signs out, taking a leap of faith, just getting something done. I'd rather have a bandit sign written on a cardboard box than nothing at all. So within 2 hours of me placing my bandit signs out, I got a call from a cash buyer who lived in that area. She was an elderly lady who owned her own home in that neighborhood, and just said, "Hey, I saw your sign. Uh, I want to buy this property for my daughter." So it just kind of turned out, it worked out very well. She ended up closing the property in a couple of days. I mean, we did have title issues, but you know, that was my reality check. I knew that I could do this. I met a seller who was a little bit difficult to work with, but I was so determined not to let this deal go down. And I just once I had it, I put it under contract. We put it under contract for $9,000. I think I marketed the property for about 15, 16, 17,000. We ended up selling it to her for 12,000. It was a really beat up property, needed everything that you can imagine, but she took it off my hands. And not only did I sell that property, but she also agreed in my face to pay me an assignment fee. That was a pivotal point in my real estate, my career period, because I know that I could get paid for my time and my effort and for helping someone get something that they wanted. So I didn't have to do a double close, and I didn't have to do anything. She knew up that she was going to be paying me. And for me personally, that $3,000, as you can imagine, me being in a hotel, extended stay hotel, that was something that I need. I never made $3,000 at one time working a job. At this point, that's a little bit of money, but now, I mean, when you're just getting started, $3,000 in one check, that's not bad. So. Um, that's what people call the reality check in real estate investing. That's the check that lets you know that this business is real, that you can do this, and I never wanted to look back from there. Never wanted to.
Right, that's awesome. And I love how creative you are with those cardboard boxes. But that's
Oh,
such a great idea. I've never heard of that idea before. But it's an incredibly genius and a great idea for anyone starting out like you, where they're like, man, Tim, I don't have any money, right? Josh, I don't have any money at all. Well, you certainly can, get some, free boxes. A lot of stores have that, so that's really genius. Um,
yeah.
all right, so how did you know how to clean up that title issue?
Well, you know what, Tim? Thankfully, um, I had a very supportive mother. We all were going through some stuff at the same time. But of course, she was older than me. I mean, I've never even owned a house at that point, so let alone know anything about title issues or anything. Um, but she did. She used to work in a law firm before. Uh, I think it just so happened that her skills and my skills around that time were able to work together. So, I told her, hey, mom, even though she may have not believed or 100% understood this no money down real estate investing field. She never deterred me. She always supported me. And I'm like, Mom, I think I got a fish on the hook. I need your help. Can you help me reel this in? And I couldn't have done it without her, Tim, because literally I was faking it till I make it. I had no idea what I was doing. Talking to attorneys, doing deals. I had no idea what the heck I was doing, what I was talking about. But thankfully, it got done, and it was a learning lesson, and I was able to walk out on top, thankfully. So,
So
yeah.
that's really great. So how many wholesale deals have you done, since September 2013?
Um, a little bit under 100, probably I'd say about 80 deals. And I'm doing the owner financing now. So I've been trying not to wholesale the deals that I do have. I've been trying to buy them myself. So,
That's awesome. Which is what I wanted to talk about next. Is like, 80 deals in a couple of years is a lot of deals, right? That you've done. What made you decide? What give you the idea of, hey, you know what? As much wholesale deals I've done, that's great, but I want to transition over here to this owner financing thing.
well, I think two things. I wanted my freedom, I really wanted to have some type of freedom. I guess when you lose everything, Tim, and you know that it can happen again. You know that without some type of cushion, nothing's guaranteed. You want some type of security. I mean, and I'm not just doing this for myself. I have a family that I have to look out for in a way, and I'm just looking long term. I'm looking, deals are nice. I actually had some advice. One of the best pieces of advice I got from a broker friend of mine around the time where I didn't, you know what, Tim? I didn't even think I would get into rehabs or definitely on the financing. I was just wholesaling. I didn't even really know the amount of deals that I could do or where I could head with this. I was just simply wholesaling, stumbled into rehabbing. I guess I watched too many HGTV shows and felt like I can do it. So I stumbled into rehabbing. But a broker friend of mine at the time said, Josh, you're making a lot of people money, selling these really good deals. You're making some decent money too, but you don't have a portfolio. The game, the rules, the game is really won when you become financially free, when you don't have to wake up and work if you don't want to. And at that time, I wasn't able to really hear it. But I think around the time where I kind of, when I met Mitch, and I don't know, I was ready to hear that message at that time. And it's one of the smartest things that I've done because I haven't been, for the most part, I haven't been broke since. I tell people I'm not rich, but I know what it's like to be financially free, and that 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 is that's a good feeling.
That's awesome. All right. So share with us your owner financing strategy. What kind of deals are you buying? How are you funding them? And then we'll get into how you're selling them.
Okay. Right now, um, here in Atlanta, I've pretty much I'm staying away from the real low end homes and the real expensive homes. I kind of find the happy medium with these bread and butter neighborhoods, Walmart areas. Most of the properties we buy are under 100,000. I say anywhere between 30, 40, 50, 60. That's the medium price range. We're mostly selling them double that. Yeah, yeah. We're finding really good deals, and we're able to sell them at prices that are kind of comparative of what they would pay in rent. And I don't know. I just recently hired a sales representative, someone who helps me sell my properties. Um, and you know, that's the business that I'm laser focused on right now, trying to build my portfolio.
So the way that you find these deals, is it any different than the ways that you find the wholesale deals, or is it the same marketing strategy?
Same marketing strategy. I think when I find a deal, see, when I first got started in real estate, I didn't have any cash. I didn't have any private funds to buy property myself if I wanted to. So I just get a really good deal and I'd sell it and try to make as much money as I can. Nowadays, I'm doing marketing, and when I find a really, really, really good deal, this is something that I kind of want to hold on to myself. So wholesaling is the last result, I guess, when I find good deals. Same,
So
same thing.
so how are you so what marketing is your what is your like your top marketing that you're currently doing to find these deals?
Well, at this moment, I had to kind of slow down with my marketing only because I'm building a team. I'm hiring people, and really trying to make a business out of this. But at this moment, we've kind of transitioned, and we're not just doing regular mailers and things like that. We've kind of moved into the guerrilla marketing. So we're doing TV, we're doing radio, um, just trying to step things up. I haven't really gotten to other forms, but right now, radio and TV are where I'm really getting some really good deals from, and just planning on scaling that and taking that to the next level.
Gotcha. Okay. What kind of TV stations are you? Is it like cable TV or is it mainstream or like what kind of TV?
We kind of mostly focus on the local stuff, local TV stations. So we're just here in Atlanta right now, local stuff.
I see. So and then all right. So in funding these deals, how are you funding them?
90% of the deals we use are fund with private money. We have pretty good relationships with real estate investors here, or just private money lenders, people who, want to kind of earn more than what they're getting just at the bank or anything like that. So the majority of our deals are funded with private money. Every once in a while, if I find something where I may not need a lender or something, I'm funding them deals myself. Like I just bought a property like 2 days ago myself personally, and you know, it's just where there's a good deal, there's always money. So that's it's a pretty good thing right now. Right now, it's not too hard to find money if you really need.
Okay. And then so these are long-term private money. A tip on a typical loan, how long is the term that you're borrowing at?
Normally, it's about 5 years. I'm still kind of new in the game. I'm not as aggressive as I probably could be, but we're trying to build relationships. I'm in this for the long term, so we're trying to build relationships. One thing I noticed about private money is it's a relationships game. the better you are, the you know the more you will get, so to speak. So I'm just building relationships. So I don't want people to feel like they have to commit forever. I want to show you that we can do what we say.
Well, just so you know, I mean, even 5 years is a long term, and so that's a really good thing because I mean, most private lenders that lend in real estate, they want it to be like less than 12 months or less.
Yeah.
So it's really great that you're able to find lenders that's willing to do 5 years. So just
Our
so you know, that's a good thing.
shortest term is about 3. Our shortest term is 3 years. We don't do anything less than 3 years.
Right, that's great. And then on the selling side, how long of the long term are you giving to your buyers?
Um, the about 20 years, around 20 years, we're giving them 20-year loans.
So if you're getting the loan at 3 to 5 years and you're giving your buyers at 20 years, what are you gonna do in between when your loan is mature and balloon?
Well, two things. We give our people 20-year loans, but we also give them a balloon as well, which kind of matches up. But at the same time, I mean, you got to have your ducks in order. We have note buyers. We have other private lenders that we can work with. I'm doing this as a business, so I'm in this for the long term. We're always looking for new private lenders or institutions who can help cash our people out. So, like I just did something like that not too long ago, where we, kind of are able to get people their money back, quicker. So, it's all about just having your ducks in order, being able to switch things around when needed.
Okay, that's good. So do you and then on the buyer side, do you have them work with like a credit repair type company or a loan company that works with them so that way they are able to refinance and cash you out as well?
For sure, yeah. Everything that we're doing, we have credit restoration, and that's another thing. I don't always count on people being able to refinance. It isn't my first strategy, but we have all those things in order. We're working on people's credit. We have people who will buy our notes, all kind of things. While we're always searching for private money, we may be able to cash someone out at a lower rate or something like that. We're just constantly working on ways to move this thing, because this owner finance, it isn't forever. There's an expiration date with this, so we are pretty much aware.
That's good. One of the things you might want to look into, check with some of your local banks, but we have a local bank here in Houston where they will allow us to refi. So we'll buy the property with like private money. We'll fix up the property. Once we fix up the property, we can refi with them, and they allow us to wrap when we sell it on owner financing, they allow us to wrap their existing mortgage, so there's no like due on sell type of issues.
So is that like pledging your note, so to speak? Is that what you're talking about? Pledging your note, or you're actually talking about a real refinance?
No, not. Well, okay. So the first step is we'll buy it with private money, and then we'll actually refinance with that local bank.
I got you.
Yeah, for 70% of value. So once we fix it up, they'll refinance us up to 70% of value, and then when we turn around and sell it to an owner financing buyer, they will allow us to sell it on a wrap without the due on sale issues.
That's nice. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Can send me information on that. That would be good. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, they're specific to Houston only, so you might want to check with like a local bank in your area. I don't know of any national bank that would do something like that, but a local bank where they're keeping their own portfolio, they might be willing to do it. So check around.
Sure. Hey Tim, that's a great tip. I appreciate that. At this point, Tim, I mean, I know there's some people out there right now who are listening to this podcast may saying, hey, that's great for Tim, that's great for Josh. I'm trying to get started right now. Um, and I want to just send some positive energy you guys way, and try to give you guys some hope, and much respect to you guys, because I know that this path that you're on, trying to make something of yourself. If you're here listening to me and Tim right now, that goes to show that you have something in you that wants more, that knows that there's more out there. And I can tell you that real estate investing is something, a tool that you could use to take you to so many different places. Like me personally, Tim, I didn't get into real estate to be a full-time investor. I got into real estate so that I can fund my dreams. I just came back from Los Angeles not too long ago, where I spent some time learning how to be an independent filmmaker and learn how to make movies. There are things that I want to do outside of real estate that sometimes take money, sometimes take freedom to be able to do. And I don't really know of any other business other than, certain things here and there that will open those doors for you, give you the money that you need, give you the freedom that you need to be able to do almost anything that you want. So even if you don't aspire to be a real estate investor full time, you just want to, make enough money to quit your job or travel or to buy your mother a house like I did, or whatever the case may be, you sure can do it. Real estate can take you there. I'm saying that with, every ounce of my soul that I know is true. So for all you guys out there, I respect the journey you're on. I respect you as a person. And the sooner you get started, the sooner you go out and make it happen. I probably would have made it happen a long time ago if I believed that I could, And I hope that you don't have to become homeless or live almost a year in a hotel like I did to build up the courage to go make your dreams happen. I tell people that all the time. Hopefully you didn't have to go through what I went through just to make a buck. Just go out there and get started right now.
So Josh, so the listener listening in, if they want to connect with you, reach out to you, learn more from you, where would you like to send them?
Okay, Tim, maybe we have some show notes or something, or a link that they can click on when it comes to this interview here. But I've put together a little guidebook for anybody listening, which is 10 ways that you can get started in real estate on a shoestring budget. I mean, not every one of these things are free. It may take a little bit of money, even, the gas in your car or something like that. But these are 10 tried and tested ways, tried and true ways that I've used in my business, in my life, when I was first getting started, that almost anybody can implement today. You can implement today and start getting your phone to ring or sell a property or something. 10 ways to get started in real estate on a shoestring budget. I want to include that with this interview here. So I think Tim is able to give you guys a link or something you can click on where you can get this type of information. I know that it'll serve you, especially if you're starting out right now. I don't know if you've done your first deal yet or you're still trying to get started, but take it from me, you don't need money to get started in real estate. All you got to do is have your brain and just, be willing to try, be willing to go out there and even hear a couple no's, even hear a couple no's.
All right, so you're gonna give me a link to this guide offline, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll put it in the show note in the description. Great. So, any other ways? Do you want them to reach out, or is that it?
If you guys want to connect with me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Josh Paschall. I'm on Instagram, PASCHALL. I'm all over social media. So friend me, follow me, just connect with me. Easy to talk to, definitely, cool guy. So don't feel bad about reaching out. Definitely feel like if you need to reach out to me. I love to hear from you guys and help out in any way that I can. But more importantly, like I said, I just wanted to speak to the people out there listening. I know what it was like when I was first trying to get started in real estate, Tim. There were times where I literally teared up, start crying, man, because of what I was going through. And I know that there are people out there who are in similar situations or even worse situations. And I just want to give you some hope. I say sometimes your time is another time, so even if you're sitting there right now, dreading where you are, dreading your job, dreading your position, sometimes your time may be another time, so just keep the hope, keep the faith, but also take action and don't stop until you get to where you're going. I was telling someone this on another podcast I was on the other day on how, Tim, I stayed in that extended stay hotel for about a year. Fast forward a year later, I was driving in my dream car. I, I was in a Range Rover and I was passing by the hotel that I was living in just a year before. It must have been, I was on my way to go see a property or something. But I was in my dream car passing by the hotel that I was in a year before. The sun shined on me, Tim, in a way that it never shined on me before. And it kind of like forced a tear out of my eye. I think I was so in the moment at that time. And I realized, wow, I achieved a dream. Because I was driving by that hotel and I can even see the room that I used to stay in. And I used to be so miserable there, Tim. So miserable. And I was like, how did I even end up at this place? But all I could do was focus and train my mind to get out of this. And when I was driving by that hotel in my dream car, it solidified to me that dreams come true. Your current situation does not have to be your final situation. You can always come out of it. So for everybody listening, I just want to give you some hope. I mean, I have had some pretty amazing results. Just recently, Tim, I reached the six-figure mark in one deal. I'd always been doing, five, 10, 15, $20,000 deals, $30,000 deals. They start going up. But just recently, not even a month ago, we made six figures, over six figures in one deal. And it's training my mind, it's letting me know that, possibilities are endless. You guys listening, you guys can come in your first deal, do 6, 7 figures. Don't ever limit yourself. It's so much possible. Just like how Tim is interviewing me right now, when I was in that hotel, I would have never guessed in a million years that someone would want to hear my story. So for you guys out there who are trying to get into this business, I need you to get started. Tim needs you to get started. The world needs you to get started because we need your story too. There are people out there who need to hear what you have. There are dreams that you have that you want to achieve, and I promise you, real estate investing can take you there. So, I mean, the world's going to be a better place once we have more people like you guys in position to share your story. So please use whatever inspiration you can get from me, and just go out there and make it happen. I mean, I literally started with nothing, nothing. I lost my apartment. I lost all the clothes that I had, all the furniture I had. I didn't even have money to make signs. So, this gift that I'm giving you, how you can get started on a shoestring budget. I mean, it almost gives you no excuse.
I love that. Josh, buddy, I love the message that you're sharing. And yes, definitely folks listening in right now, you know, just like Josh, get started with very little. I also get started with very little. A lot of, successful real estate entrepreneurs, real estate millionaires out there started with very little. So, do take action and do use this interview and all the interviews that we do really as your inspiration to make it happen. So, Josh, thank you so much, buddy, for this awesome interview. I appreciate you greatly, and I just love your generosity and your commitment to helping the next person getting started and becoming successful. So just thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for the inspiration you've been giving thousands of people. I mean, I came across you before I even did my first deal. So you're definitely helping a lot of people, and it's inspiring generations, and I'm just trying to do the same. So everybody out there listening, hopefully I get to hear your story one day. Hopefully Tim gets to hear your story one day. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, Josh. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have gotten value out of this interview, make sure you rate us, give us feedback, share it with your friends. And with that, reach out to Josh, and happy investing, and we'll see you on the next interview. All right, everyone. See you for now.
And that's our show for today. If you have any questions or would like to get further training from Tim Mai, please visit our website at www.dodeals.com/Tim.